Hi, my name is Cindy, and I'm a fourth-year Ph.D. student in the Earth System Science Department at UC Irvine. My research focuses on emissions of fossil fuel carbon dioxide from cities. Cities are hotspots of emissions of greenhouse gases like carbon dioxide, which cause climate change. But they are also leading global efforts to reduce emissions through local policies. This makes urban areas really important to study because they're playing a major role in what's going to be the outcome of the climate crisis. Unfortunately, it's challenging to quantify fossil fuel carbon dioxide because of the many entangled carbon fluxes that happen in and around cities. My work focuses on helping to understand trends in these emissions and their sources using atmospheric measurements. I collect data to map urban emission patterns and detect changes in CO2 related to human activity and decarbonization. I started learning about climate change during my undergraduate degree, and I became really worried about how extreme heat was going to affect my hometown. I'm from the Coachella Valley, which is in the desert in Southern California, and we already experience temperatures as high as 120 degrees Fahrenheit in the summer. And the area is expected to become even hotter and drier due to climate change. I did some research on how climate change was going to affect the Coachella Valley, and I found that a shift towards higher temperatures is going to take a huge toll on the area's tourism industry and the local economy. And so after that project, I started studying greenhouse gas emissions in the hopes that my research could help steer us in the right direction and mitigate the impacts of climate change. I get to work with a lot of exciting tools to measure urban CO2 emissions. I use a mobile laboratory to measure emissions that come from cars. The mobile lab is a big Mercedes Sprinter van owned by UC Riverside that's equipped with a suite of scientific instruments that can measure greenhouse gases and air pollutants anywhere you go. So what I've done is I've driven it around Los Angeles on the freeways to investigate the emissions that are coming from traffic. Essentially, my fieldwork involves sitting in traffic on purpose to try to understand how cars are changing with changes in human activity and improvements in technology and policy. As cities take action to decarbonize their economies, I'm hoping to contribute to the development of those tools so that we can track our progress and guide policymakers on effective climate actions. Ultimately, what gets measured gets better. So in order to invest in the right changes, we need to really understand where the emissions are coming from, and when we implement changes, we need to know whether or not they worked. Hopefully, the CO2 data that we collect can inform policymakers and help us reach our goals towards carbon neutral cities.